kidnapped and sold by her mother, father figure and their friend. Now the very people meant to protect young Joshlin are serving life in jail. They failed in their bid for discharge and maintained their stony silence throughout the trial. The prosecution team, who worked tirelessly to achieve the maximum penalty, have described this case as one they would never be able to forget.
You're working on a missing child case, and that investigation is still active and very much alive. And the fact that we don't have closure, the fact that we haven't found the child is obviously something that weighs heavily on us as mothers, as we both are. And the emotional intensity of that cannot be stated enough. You carry the silent presence of this child through every witness, through every preparation in the matter, and you can't lose focus that is what this case is about. It's not something you leave, even now that the case is finalized, it still sits with us.
A first of its kind, the case of young Joshlin has been described as an important one to test the law around human trafficking in South Africa.
When this matter came across my desk, I knew instinctively that this is going to be the first of its kind, but there was a need to test the law and to expand the law. This would be the very first time that we actually prosecuted for trafficking in persons where a child was sold and had not yet been recovered. There were 3 other unreported decisions, 2 in the High Court in Gauteng, Pretoria, and 1 in the Regional Court in Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal. But in all 3 of those cases, the children were advertised to be sold, and it was reported to the police. So the police could then do an undercover or trap operation. And it was followed. The minute that the child was sold to the police agent, the police immediately arrested the suspects, and the children were all unscathed and unharmed in those circumstances. Here, little Joshlin is still missing.
With the 3 behind bars, the court must still decide on whether or not to grant the state's Section 204 witness, Laurentia Lombard, indemnity from prosecution.
So in this instance, yes, we will definitely be there. The defense counsel will be there. The accused will not be there because they do not play a part in this inquiry. But we will be called on to argue and indicate why we say that she should or should not be granted indemnity. Of course, our argument is that she should be granted indemnity.
Applications for leave to appeal the conviction and sentence are expected to be heard within 14 days of sentencing. Vanessa Poonah, SABC News, Cape Town.